Good afternoon, everyone. It is December the 21st. Yeah. This afternoon we're just doing a little project. We're gonna rotate the tires on the back of the semi-trailer. So yeah, pretty much just switching this ones on this side to the other side, and yeah, pretty much what that does is just make so the tires wear evenly. Yeah, you're probably familiar with it. Good to do it on regular vehicles as well, or like cars and pickup trucks. So that's what we're doing right now. Got that all done. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, Dad started that up, how fast it turned over, and if you've watched previous videos you might have noticed that it used to turn over pretty slow. Also, in one of the previous videos, if you watched it, right at the beginning of the video we had seen sparks that were shooting out of the bottom of the truck, right close to, or right underneath the cab there, right there. So what that was, Dad said, he looked into that a little bit, and I guess the ground post or whatever underneath there, I guess was all corroded. Some of the stuff was like rusted together and stuff. So he took that apart and got that all fixed, and that's a lot better. So Dad fueled that thing up, and probably in the coming weeks we'll pretty much be hauling corn. Yeah, I don't know how much that will film, but yeah, we're just pretty much, that'll probably be the winter job, along with some other maintenance and stuff. Yeah, Dad's been ripping some the last while. We just put new ripper points on. I think those last about 200 acres. You have to replace them about every 200 acres. So yeah, that's pretty much what's happening around here. Alright, so we've now used the Estes Concaves for now wheat harvest and now this harvest, and obviously I wasn't running the combine, so I can't tell you just a whole lot about them, but Dad was running the combine, and yeah, we just figured we'll just give you all kind of an overall what we kind of thought of them, being said this was our first year. And so yeah, I think, aren't there selling points kind of, they're supposed to have less grain loss, more capacity, and also less fuel consumption.
Yeah.
So like, what were your thoughts as far as like on the different crops? How do you say that they would have done?
In the wheat, I really liked them simply because we did not have to change the small wire between the small wire and the round bar concaves. I was pretty skeptical about it actually, because you have a bigger gap, and well, the bars are bigger, but there's a bigger gap there, and usually like wider than even the round bars. But I was totally blown away. The straw quality was excellent, full stem straws, and for baling it for horse farms, that was excellent. And the grain quality was exceptional as well. No white caps, even in 20% wheat. It just cleaned it, whisker clean. You could have put it in a drill and planted it. I just couldn't believe it. Beans, did a really good job even in green stem beans, where there's some green pods. There was hardly any pods. It just shelled them all out. Even when they were too green to be combined, in some spots it just shelled them all out. But in green stem, I think it took more power to run than it did with the round bars. but I do think it was worth, for the job that it did, it was worth the money to, the quality was exceptional.
Yeah.
The corn, we had high yielding corn, and I couldn't do a side by side. I didn't have the old concaves to actually do a side by side, and it's a little hard to do a comparison. The quality of the corn, again, was just exceptional. As far as gaining a lot more capacity, like I said, if I could have done a side by side, I talked to a neighbor that has those, and they were able to do a side by side with a conventional and those, and he's seen a big difference. But when you're pushing 300 bushel corn through, that's a lot of stuff going through a combine. So yeah, I can't complain. As far as power wise in corn, I never was in a shortage of power. And there again, you know, I don't know if the fuel consumption, I didn't keep track last year when I had the other concaves to actually keep track on what fuel consumption was, but all in all, I'm very happy with it. And the fact that I don't have to change the concaves next year is great. And I would say, yeah, they do well in all the crops. The quality is second to none. Wheat, I just, that was probably where I was blown away the most, simply because even in high moisture wheat, which I don't like to do much, but sometimes you'll have some, it just did a really good job of cleaning. I noticed also when the beans got tough later at night, you could go later. Like I said, it just shelled out. It didn't matter. It was real simple to set the combine. So,
would you say that, like, I feel like this year we had like our stalks of the corn were like pretty, like they seemed to break off pretty easy. Do you think that made a difference as far as like?
Definitely, some varieties were really bad for that. We had one variety, our best one actually. It didn't matter where we had our deck plates. As soon as the stalk would come down, just before the ear even hit the deck plates, the stalks, 90% of the stalks would just break off. And the corn was probably 13 foot tall. We were running a lot of fodder through the combine, and I mean, we were losing a little bit, but for everything that was going through that thing, it did good.
Yeah.
So, but I think that was one thing that probably, it did slow us down some, just because I don't like to lose any. But yeah, I'm happy with it.
You'd say they're worth the investment then?
I'd say they're worth the investment.
Yes.
It is a chunk of change, but the fact that you don't have to swap them out, because that was a little bit of a pain sometimes. But
yep.
Yeah, I do again.
Yeah.
Just for the grain quality itself.
Yeah.
Not that the others were bad. I wouldn't have said the conventional concaves would have been terrible, because usually when the moistures got high is when it got challenging with those, especially with wheat, even with the small wires. You would get white caps. But yeah, and green beans, you would get green pods and things like that where you just didn't see them this year.
Yep. So there you have it. That's pretty much, yeah, what we thought about them. Overall, really liked them.
Yep, that's our 2 cents. Maybe somebody else would think different. I would like to hear from other people that have, they've run them or what their thoughts are on them. But all right, pretty day. We're down to the last of our corn. Very good yields. Be hard to beat this year's crop. clean sample that we're getting with the Estes Concaves. Just very good sample. Very happy with them. Whole kernels, just beautiful corn. Best beans I ever cut. They just keep going up. I don't know if I'll make 100 or not, but either way, 94 is a lot of bushels for 1 acre on beans. Stays up around 100 bushel an acre. Really pumping them out. Here's what it looks like coming in. 100 bushel beans. Very happy with the sample. Nice and clean. The Estes XPR2 Concaves. Very happy with them. You could pretty much dump them in your planter and go plant them. They're that clean. So very happy. Very few splits. Nice whole kernels. I do think it does take a little bit more power in green stem beans, but even green pods, it thrashes pretty much anything. Not that you want to do that, but sometimes you get some green ones, and it does take more power, but you get less pods in your bin. So very happy about that.
So yeah, that's pretty much the deal with the concaves, and I would second that. Is really nice not to have to change those out. And yeah, as far as grain quality, or like just from my perspective in the grain cart, definitely saw that was really good. But yeah, that was just our honest thoughts on it. So yeah, that's probably gonna be pretty much a wrap on the farming for this year. It's really been a good harvest. Thanks a lot for sticking around, checking out the videos, and for your comments. Yeah, we appreciate those. And for those of you who subscribed or are new to the channel, or those who have been following for a while, yeah, we really do appreciate you guys. And yeah, probably one of the next things you'll see us doing is probably we'll be doing maple syrup. I'm actually going to be leaving to go to a Bible school. I'm going to be there for 6 weeks, and I'll be coming back in the middle of February. So Dad and or Jaden will possibly get some footage in, and we'll get that edited and out to you. So but until then, hope you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Yeah, thanks again. If you enjoy following the channel, enjoy the content, be sure to like and also to share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. So yeah, that's a wrap, guys. See you in the next one.